accident or just want a new look for your vehicle, come see us at Troy Paint and Body, where we do it right the first time. Our staff has more than 100 years combined experience and can handle repairs and paint work on any make or model. We also offer a lifetime guarantee as long as you own your vehicle. Now that shows we stand behind our work. And our 24-hour towing service means we're here when you need us. So come see us at Troy Paint and Body, located on South Brundage Street in Troy beside the post office. Troy Paint and Body, where we may meet by accident, but you'll be glad we did.
Troy Cable Security Wi-Fi doorbell camera allows you to answer the door from your smartphone when you are at home, at work, or on the go. When a visitor presses the button, Troy Cable Security sends a live video feed to your smartphone so you can see, hear, and speak to the person at your door. With the doorbell camera, you can have your porch light turn on automatically when it detects motion at night to create the appearance that someone is at home. You can view video clips so you can always know who stopped by when you are out. Troy Cable Security. You love them, protect them.
Have you seen an increase in your insurance premiums or significant change in your insurance coverage? Let Sandbeck Insurance offer you a better plan to suit your business or personal needs. Sandbeck Insurance offers many lines of insurance, whether it's home, farm, or auto insurance, work comp, business, or health and life policies. Sandbeck is here for you. Call or visit our Troy, Enterprise, or Andalusia office today. Sandbeck Insurance, where we take pride in taking care of your insurance.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Here at Town & Country, we are proud to be an American.
We've had you covered on the inside since 2005, and with our addition of Southern Grill and Patio, we now have you covered on the outside. Come see our great selection, where we make sure grilling and relaxing go hand in hand.
Did you know at Wiley Sanders Truck Line that we offer Blue Cross Blue Shield, we offer dental, we offer disability, we offer vision, we offer life insurance, cancer insurance. We also have a 401k where we match up to 4%, dollar for dollar up to 4%. We also have automatic trucks at Wiley Sanders Truck Line. If you go to a truck driving school, we'll reimburse you. And don't forget about the $1,000 sign-on bonus. Money! Wiley Sanders Truck Line, Troy, Alabama. Wiley Sanders Truck Line. We help you save for your future.
The new Smokehouse Pizza from Little Caesars is our first pizza with 3 smoked meats. So we got barbecue champion Big Mo Quezon to test it out. 8-hour smoked brisket.
Certified beefified.
10-hour smoked pulled pork.
Certified hoggified.
Applewood smoked bacon.
Certified baconfied.
Drizzled with tangy barbecue sauce plus a Smokehouse seasoned crust.
Certified smokified.
The new Smokehouse Pizza. Only $9 and only at Little Caesars.
Life is hectic enough without worrying if your lights will stay on or if there's hot water for your child's bath. So count on natural gas to keep the energy flowing, even when the weather is unpredictable. Natural gas is always there to keep your home warm, showers hot, and food cooked to perfection. That's why America has relied on safe and affordable natural gas for more than 150 years. And we will be here for you and future generations too. You can count on natural gas from Southeast Alabama Gas District.
Here's some Napa know-how for you. Your local Napa Auto Parts store in Troy is under new ownership with an all-new fully stocked store. Big deal, you say? Big deal, we say. Like the ownership, the store has a new look, too. We're still delivering the same Napa quality and know-how, but we've increased our inventory and are committed to helping you find the parts you need when you need them. So come check us out. We've got the right part at the right price at the right time.
Know-how, Napa know-how.
If you've had an accident or just want a new look for your vehicle, come see us at Troy Paint and Body, where we do it right the first time. Our staff has more than 100 years combined experience and can handle repairs and paint work on any make or model. We also offer a lifetime guarantee as long as you own your vehicle. Now that shows we stand behind our work. And our 24-hour towing service means we're here when you need us. So come see us at Troy Paint and Body, located on South Brundage Street in Troy beside the post office. Troy Paint and Body, where we may meet by accident, but you'll be glad we did.
Troy Cable Security Wi-Fi doorbell camera allows you to answer the door from your smartphone when you are at home, at work, or on the go. When a visitor presses the button, Troy Cable Security sends a live video feed to your smartphone so you can see, hear, and speak to the person at your door. With the doorbell camera, you can have your porch light turn on automatically when it detects motion at night to create the appearance that someone is at home. You can view video clips so you can always know who stopped by when you are out. Troy Cable Security. You love them, protect them.
Have you seen Seen an increase in your insurance premiums or significant change in your insurance coverage? Let Sandback Insurance offer you a better plan to suit your business or personal needs. Sandback Insurance offers many lines of insurance, whether it's home, farm, or auto insurance, work comp, business, or health and life policies. Sandback is here for you. Call or visit our Troy, Enterprise, or Andalusia office today. Sandback Insurance, where we take pride in taking care of your insurance.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation under God, indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Here at Town & Country, we are proud to be an American.
We've had you covered on the inside since 2005, and with our addition of Southern Grill and Patio, we now have you covered on the outside. Come see our great selection, where we make sure grilling and relaxing go hand in hand.
Yes, it's Christmas time in Troy, Alabama, as old Santa is really coming through for us this morning. You talk about shaking a tail feather, Santa can do it, can he? The mistletoe, and of course Santa Claus is coming to town. You boys and girls need to be ready for him now. And of course want to remind you always to shop Troy for Christmas. And of course Monday night's Christmas parade was a huge success in Troy, and last night in Brundage as we're getting ready for the Christmas season and playing a little Christmas music. These two guys over here, you'll hear from them later on. Of course, Mike Amos is on the phone for Birmingham. What's going on, brother?
Not much. Just a whole lot going on in sports. As always, Alabama's offensive coordinator Mike Loxley is going to be the new head coach at Maryland. So Alabama's dealt with this numerous times throughout the playoffs and throughout the time Saban's been there. So Loxley will have to come up with a game plan against Oklahoma, and then of course try to recruit from Maryland. And
is he going to stay with the team? Is he going?
All right.
Is he going to stay with the team?
That's the plan so far, is from what we hear. I mean, that's what they're saying up here in Birmingham. Of course, Dan Enos, the great quarterback coach, he's really helped develop Tua and Jalen Hurts, especially, was offense coordinator at Arkansas. So he's probably the top candidate to probably land the OC job at Alabama.
Exactly.
But going to be interesting to see what happens at Auburn as well. Of course, Gus Malzahn is looking for another offense coordinator as Chip Lindsey takes the Kansas job. So Auburn will have to find an offense coordinator as well.
Tell me, what do you think about that? Do you think there was a little bit of controversy there, or what do you think?
Well, I mean, I think Chip Lindsey was out either way, so I think he had to find a job. And he went to Tennessee initially, and you know, he coached with Pruitt and knew him really well, but it didn't work out there. And took the Kansas job working with Les Miles, but the situation Auburn was in also yesterday is Kelly Bryant, the former Clemson.
Yeah, where's he going?
Choose a school, and everybody thought it was going to be Auburn, but he ends up deciding to go to Missouri instead. He looked at Mississippi State, Missouri, Arkansas, and Auburn, and ended up going to Missouri. Of course, Drew Lock, this great quarterback in Missouri, is graduating this year, and that starting position is open. Also came out yesterday, which is surprising even more, is that Jarrett Stidham decided to give up. He's going to give up his senior year and go pro. So Auburn basically has Malik Willis and Joey Gatewood and of course Bo Nix, the star quarterback from Pinson Valley, Patrick Nix's son.
How good is he, Mike? Could he play right now?
Well, that's what maybe the projection is, that maybe Bo Nix can come in and win that job. Of course, he'll be in Auburn later this week on Friday, playing for the state championship. So a lot going on in sports as always. Of course, Neil Brown looks like he will be staying at Troy, which is amazing that this is going to happen another year, that Neil Brown can go 10-3, 11-2, and so far 9-3, hopefully 10-3 if they win the bowl game against Buffalo. But Neil Brown looks like he'll be back for his fifth season in Troy, and that's only good news for Troy University.
No question about it. And, of course, we've got Christmas galore here on our set today, Mike. And I don't know how many lights I can afford.
When you're growing up as a kid, what made you get into Christmas so much? Nobody loves Christmas more than you do. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, is it just something like?
Well, my mother.
Was your mom big into Christmas?
Yes, she made Christmas big in my house, and always had plenty of goodies. And she decorated. She was very talented, and she decorated outside. They would be, contests, Christmas contests every year. On who had the best Christmas decorations, and you know who always won, don't you? Jean Lake always won because she not only had the money to build fancy Christmas decorations, but she had Trigger, her husband, to build it for him. And every year, Jean Lake would win the overall contest. And then my mother, Lillian Amos, on 213 Orion Street, always ran a close second or third. And, it was always fun to be around my house at Christmas because of my mother would decorate, and
I know you got three trees in your front yard that have lights on them, and then you got at least 3 or 4 palm trees that have lights on them as well in the backyard.
Well, yeah, those stay on.
Is your wife ever going to let you put little white lights on those palm trees in the front yard?
No, I don't want to. I haven't planned it, but we decorate Crow Hill at Christmas, and I think it's pretty, and it's decorated completely. Most everybody has a tree in their front yard, and with white lights on it, and it's a beautiful drive. And if you want to get in the Christmas spirit, all you got to do is drive up Crow Hill tonight.
I see more of now than anything is those big old inflatables. People have those in the yards everywhere up here, it seems like.
No question about it. And, I think it's a great spirit over in the other part of town. They've got a lot of decorations over there, too. It's just all about who wants to do something like that. Some people go in for it and some don't. And, our neighborhood's been doing it for 40 years, I reckon.
Yeah, I remember when we were growing up, we used to go down to Arrington. Of course, they don't do that Christmas lights down there anymore.
That's a little bit impressive. To me, that's a little bit wild there. Back then, ours is it's not a gaudy look at all. I don't think we overdo it, in my opinion, and it's not what you call a gaudy look.
Yeah.
And of course, everybody uses white lights on the trees, but a lot of people don't realize it. But anybody can use different color lights, around their house. It's not a mandatory deal.
Of course, basketball started. Auburn blows out UNC Asheville last night, and then Alabama, which is hard to believe, led Georgia State, of course, in the Sun Belt and won the Sun Belt.
They're pretty good now.
NCAA tournament. So Alabama's up 52-31 at the half. 52-31. So that's 21 points.
Yeah.
Georgia State comes back and hits a 3 at the buzzer and beats Alabama in Tuscaloosa last night, 83-80.
Can you believe it? Man, oh man.
So Avery Johnson might be on an early hot seat in Tuscaloosa, but Georgia State has now already beaten Georgia by 20 points and beaten Alabama by 3 in Tuscaloosa. I think Troy might be in trouble in the Sun Belt if they want to try to win that this year.
Because they're that good, is that right? Well, they get all the.
They've already beaten 2 SEC teams.
Well, and then again, they get all the great Atlanta players. Michael, Atlanta is full of players. If they get those guys, they're gonna win.
Oh man, I'm not saying they don't have great recruiting grounds, but in Tuscaloosa, I mean, how many times have you seen Alabama lose a 21-point halftime lead? I've never heard of it.
No question about it. No question about it. I can't remember that either. I tell you what, though, I was at the regional finals one time, where Alabama had an 18-point.
Against South Alabama.
Over South Alabama, and saw South Alabama come back and beat them, and that was in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, a lot of people talk about that game. South Alabama had 2 guys they called peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah, that's right. They were foreigners. They came from they weren't Native Americans.
But tough loss. Of course, Alabama's got a long season ahead. But as far as a resume builder, you want to try to beat Central Florida, who's got beat on the road by Central Florida the other night, and then you got beat by the top team in the Sun Belt. It's one of those things where the NCAA tournament committee looks at all these different games. So maybe they can turn around. But basically when it comes to basketball, it looks like Auburn is going to be the team to beat with Kentucky and Florida's pretty good as well in the SEC. And Tennessee is really good.
Well, it's going to be a lot of fun. Basketball season's here. Now, big game tonight in Auburn, Mike, and then people that love high school football need to go ahead and make a plan to drive to Auburn tonight to see two of the best high school teams in America, wouldn't you say?
Well, definitely, if anybody wants to watch Tua's brother will be, in action. And, of course, that game will be on television as well for people that can't get up there. But, yeah, the 7A title game tonight, Central Phoenix City. Of course, Jamie DeBose was the greatest Carl Henderson hire ever for a spring camp. And Mark Freeman is the head coach at Thompson. And I picked Thompson to beat Central Phoenix City. And I guess we'll find out tonight what happens.
Thompson's a program that grew up almost overnight. They played in the spring game down here a couple of years ago, and I met the coach, and I was very impressed with him. But they weren't winning at all. But they get this guy from Hawaii to move in, and they become a national power overnight.
Yeah, I was watching. Before the game, they had a segment on Tua and his family, and religion's so important in his family, and the fact, they moved all the way from Hawaii. His whole family moved, and the mom was talking about how she was looking for jobs, looking for an apartment to move into, and with the family. And Tua's dad's all about discipline. He's saying that his kids do the the things the right way, and basically he talked about the Bible comes first, and if you don't do things the right way, he's like, you're going to get the belt. And even Tua said that.
Oh, yeah.
So apparently there's a lot of discipline in that family. If those kids don't do things the right way, they get the belt.
Oh, boy, that's something.
He said it on ESPN.
Yeah. Mike, like father, like son, a great article in the Dothan Eagle this morning. Well, actually, Montgomery, the USA Today. Mike, you remember the great Aaron Gregory? Well, his son, Aaron Jr., is the star player on Luverne's team that will be playing for the state championship. And Aaron Gregory was one of the all-time greats.
Aaron played for Troy in the 90s.
That's right. And a good picture of him and in today's paper, and there they are right there. And I know the people of Luverne are awfully proud of not only that family, but that tradition that they set. And
I wonder if he wears number 9 like his dad. His dad always wore number 9.
That's right, Mike. Not many people would have known that, but you. And of course, it says here that he wanted to be like his daddy, and his daddy around Luverne was a legend, And I thought that was a very good article in the Advertiser this morning, and. Of course, former great running back Aaron Gregory at Troy holds several of the school records still, Mike. And his son's name is Aaron, and he's known far and wide in the town as just Zay. They call him Zay. Is his son and a junior linebacker for Luverne, and which faces Fife. That's a pretty good program in North Alabama at 3 o'clock on Friday at Jordan-Hare Stadium in Auburn. I'll tell you what, if you want to go to Luverne and get anything to eat, everything's probably going to be closed down because everybody's heading to Auburn on Friday.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing what Coach Riles has done there. Of course, he won a state championship at Elba and now has a chance to win one at Luverne. And I know his son is one of his top assistants. So it's got to be great for them to be able to, coach together. But Luverne traditionally has always had a great program, and I wouldn't be surprised if they won a state championship. I know Fife is the one that beat Elba a few years ago.
Mike, it's not Fife, it's Five. It's Five, not Fife, it's Five. Like Sprite is not Sprite, it's Sprite. Well, these are country folks,
the
it's
Central
Five.
Phoenix City quarterback tonight is also an SEC commitment, too. He's committed to LSU. So you'll have two quarterbacks going at it tonight. One's committed to LSU, one's committed to Alabama.
Yeah. And Jamie DeBose is the cousin of Mike DeBose, and a lot of people ask that question, what relation? But he grew up in Opp, Alabama, and he played at Opp High School, and he came to Troy, and his roommate at Troy.
He was roommates with Neil Armstrong.
Neil Armstrong, and they were roommates, and of course, Jamie. I've been around Jamie DeBose. He's a great guy and knows how to build a program, and this will be a great football game between Thompson High School of Alabaster and Phoenix City Central High School. That's a 7 o'clock kickoff tonight. Is that right?
I believe so. That was a surprise when Charles Henderson got Jamie DeBose. Of course, Charles Henderson was coming off the state championship game, and of course his relationship with the superintendent from their Prattville days. He was at Florence.
But Mike, he's
and left Florence to come to Charles Henderson. But then while he was at Charles Henderson, he completed a spring, and then the Central Phoenix City job came open, and he couldn't pass it up.
Now, something else about him, too, is that he is a protege of the great one at UAB. He's another one of those guys, Mike.
Yeah, Bill Clark.
Everybody talks about Mummy and all the stuff that happened at Valdosta, starting at Valdosta College, and all those great coaches. But you look at Bill, what is it, Bill Clark?
Bill Clark.
Bill Clark. And look at the guys that have been around him, and one of his top assistants for many years was Jamie DeBose.
Well, DeBose ended up winning 2 state championships after Clark left.
I know, that's right. But it's amazing what old Clark has built, and where did Clark
they kind of ran into a gold mine, those situations. A lot of families were wanting to get out of the Montgomery school systems at the time, and your options were either to go to private school, which some families couldn't afford, and then, during that time, Prattville just, grew and grew and got as big as it, ever has been. So all these kids from Montgomery families were moving to that Prattville area, and they built a dynasty.
Yeah, no question.
That's kind of the way it worked out. No telling how many they would have won if Hoover wasn't around.
Oh, yeah, no question
and
about it.
And they had with Hoover every year. Of course, that was Russ Probst that would go against Clark.
Where is Clark actually from, Mike? Do you know much about his background?
Clark's from, Chuck Dunn would be the perfect person to ask. I want to say Clark's from somewhere up in North Alabama somewhere. No, I want to say Clark's from like Anniston, maybe that area.
Where now, Anniston?
Sure. I want to say that's where he's from, somewhere around
Anniston. I know he coached at Jacksonville State at one time. But, boy, what a program he's built at UAB. And, boy, I tell you, the people up there got to be excited about what he's done.
Yeah, well, I mean, they the city of Birmingham is definitely rallying around them, but, the city has gotten involved, and then, of course, the Board of Trustees have gotten involved as well. They're building that 55,000-seat stadium in downtown Birmingham right across from the Sheraton Hotel, so that's going to change everything for UAB athletics to have a 55,000-seat brand-new stadium.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be an unbelievable recruiting tool. Of course, they built the outdoor practice facility on campus now. That you can see from the interstate when you're driving by.
It's gaudy. Yeah, everybody. They built
new offices for the coaches and all that as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, their facilities have really took a big upgrade. That's one thing Troy's got to have. Of course, Neil Brown. I don't know if we'll be there long enough to see it. The next project for the Troy football team is something indoors.
Yeah, you're right.
These guys have got to have at least a 50-yard indoor practice facility when it's lightning and raining.
They have one of those over at Charles Henderson.
That's what I'm saying. They got one at Charles Henderson. They got one at Greenville. How in the world do you not have at least like a 50-yard practice facility?
There are two very important things now is to have an indoor practice facility, but more important is to have a full-time trainer. I think it ought to be mandatory in high school athletics to have a full-time trainer on board.
I mean, don't you think DeMarcus Ware wants to have the DeMarcus Ware practice facility on Troy University's campus?
Oh, yeah. Well, he's been awfully good at Troy, no question. Mike, let's go back to Chip Lindsey. Leaves Auburn. Chip Lindsey, a lot of people don't realize, coached right here at Troy, had a wonderful family, and everybody loved him at Troy. In fact, if that Troy job would have come open, or if it does come open, I would think he'd be a top candidate, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, you think his name would probably be mentioned. It's one of those things where he also coached at Spain Park here in Birmingham, was a good high school coach, and of course he has the Hoover connection too. He coached at Hoover for a while as well. So
okay, so he and my
but
buddy
his big experience though in college is he developed Nick Mullins, who's now the starting quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers.
And he developed Mullins at Southern Miss or where?
Yeah, Southern Miss. He was the offense coordinator there.
Yeah.
But then he left Southern Miss and took the offense coordinator job at Arizona State.
Yeah.
And he left Arizona State to come to Auburn. So now this will be his fourth offense coordinator job in major college football. He's been at Southern Miss, Arizona State, Auburn, and now Kansas.
Yeah.
So I mean, his
first college job was Troy, and then
that's right. He came from coaching high school in Atlanta, and Coach Blakeney brought him on his staff.
But he also coached at Spain Park too, didn't he?
Yeah, we mentioned that. Yeah.
It's amazing the way these things happen, Mike. It's all about.
When he was at UNA, he was roommates with Brian Blackman, who's on Troy's staff now.
And probably Brian Vincent is probably in there somewhere. The guy that is the offensive coordinator at UAB now, coached right here at Charles Henderson for 5 years.
Yeah, well, Brian Vincent's story is unique. He went to South Alabama and was down there as offense coordinator under Clark and Joey Jones.
Yeah. And
then Clark gets a head coaching job at UAB, and Brian Vincent comes back to coach for Clark at UAB and be, as his offense coordinator there. And then, of course, UAB does away with their football program. So Brian Vincent's looking for a job. He goes back as offense coordinator for Joey Jones at South Alabama, and then loses his job midway through the season.
Yeah.
And then when Clark started UAB back up again, he brought Brian Vincent back.
It's amazing. And a lot of it's personalities, but a lot of it, ladies and gentlemen, is just like it is in life, is who you know in college football. Don't you agree?
Yeah. You got to feel for these coaches' wives and these kids, having to be the new kid in town. These kids move a lot with these coaches.
And let me tell you this, and let me tell you, Troy's got one of the finest young coaches in America. But let me tell you this, if he leaves, one of the finest young coaches in America will replace him. Don't you agree?
Well, you hope
you look at Troy. Look at Troy over the years. Look at him from Billy Atkins on. Look at the names that have been head football coaches at Troy.
Yeah, I was thinking about that yesterday.
Of course, Blakeney stayed 25 years, and he was very good, no question.
People don't realize how great Chan Gailey was. Chan Gailey leaves, eventually becomes the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys and the Buffalo Bills one day.
And then how good Rick Rhodes was. Rick Rhodes was a great head coach.
Yeah, I think Rick Rhodes regrets leaving Troy for Southern Illinois. Of course, it was a bigger job, but I think, if he would have stayed at Troy probably would have won a couple more national championships.
And with a no-huddle wishbone. And you know who took over from Troy after that? Jacksonville State. Went to the same offense and won 2 national championships.
Yeah, Robert Maddox was a defensive coach, and I think that's where he really struggled offensively. Didn't have the right guy in as offense coordinator, and just didn't work out. Of course, Johnny Williams stayed on, and the rest is history as far as Troy's program. Johnny becomes athletic director. Well, he was defense coordinator for Coach Blakeney in the first 2 or 3 years.
A very good defensive coordinator too. Larry Blakeney hated to see Johnny Williams leave the coaching part of it.
Yeah, that's what I always try to explain to people all the time. When you talk about Troy, when I was a kid growing up, we played Delta State.
That's right.
We played Mississippi College. And
that's right. Good programs. Yeah.
And we played Livingston and UNA, and then every time I go to Atlanta, I see West Georgia University.
That's right.
West Georgia, and
Valdosta State was a big rival.
Valdosta State, yeah, that's all I knew. We were Division II, and I was happy with that, and I thought that was exciting. And then we made a jump to 1AA, and then we started playing, the bigger schools in Louisiana, the big me states in Louisiana, and then we played, all the other
Marshall teams. Looked big to us. Georgia Southern looked big to us.
Marshall, Georgia Southern. Southern. You know, we started playing
Tracy Ham, you know, and then Marshall had the great quarterback. What was his name? Went on and played with the Jets.
Well, they had Chad Pennington play for the Jets.
Chad Pennington, yeah. So, I mean, all these guys.
Well, I mean, they had Byron Leftwich and stuff like that, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, as it goes, you know, you kind of grow up through the program, and then, of course, we made the jump to 1A, and, you know, the rest is history. But it's just crazy, you know, when you go from 2A, 2A to 1AA to 1A.
Yeah.
All the different colleges and stuff. I mean, we could probably write a book one day about all the different games and different places we've been university-wise.
Mike, I'm going to put you on hold for a second. Be right back. Good morning. You're on Today in L.A. How you doing? Hello. Good morning. You're on Today in L.A. Is that you, Mike?
Yeah.
All right, now I'm going to put you on hold. Okay, let's go to line 2. Good morning. You're on Today in L.A. How you doing? Hello. Well, we're not bringing that other call in for some reason. Let's see here one more time. Put him on hold. Go there to there and there to there. All right, you on Today in L.A. How you doing? This you, Mike? All right. We'll just hold on to you and one more time on a hold. Let's see if we can get him. Good morning. You're on Today in L.A. How you doing? Hello. All right, so nobody's answering on that line. We'll go back to Mike. Mike, you're talking about candidates to replace Lindsey at Auburn, and you know, here it is, the first part of the season. Lindsey looks like a world beater, and now and then what happened halfway through the season? Malzahn took over the play calling, didn't he?
Well, I mean, that's what they say on the radio all the time in Birmingham. You know, Malzahn still can't, you know, stay out of it. You know, he still wants to be involved in play calling. And, you know, a lot of people are saying that they might promote Cody Burns to offense coordinator. He was, you know, receivers coach at Auburn, just in title, and then Malzahn will just go back to calling the plays. A lot of people think that's going to happen. But who knows? You know, Malzahn's kind of in a situation where after this year, you know, if he doesn't have, you know, 10 wins next season, he's probably going to lose his job. So it's going to be interesting to see what he decides to do, and if any offense coordinator would want to come take the OC job because they won't be able to call the plays.
I know it exactly. It'd just be a figurehead.
I don't want to deal with that, yeah.
And let me just say this. Neil Brown.
Don't get me wrong. If some guy's making $250,000, he could make $800,000. He's going to take the job.
No question about it. And I guarantee you, Lindsey, this is a good move for him. If Kansas starts winning, hey, everybody wants to know why, you know. And Lindsey is a fine young coach.
Les Miles type of guy that's tough as well, though. You know, he wants to run the ball, and he might get involved in play calling as well. So I don't know. I mean, hopefully he'll have some.
I think Kansas has 30,000 students at one of the best basketball programs in the country, and hey, just a pretty good program. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Christmas time. Let's get ready. Wise Office Supply right here on South Brundage Street in Troy, where there's no hidden charges when you do business with Wise Office Supply. Also, Piggly Wiggly, Mike. Boy, they've got those great sales going on T-bone steaks. You know, if you cut a T-bone steak thick and you've got that filet and then you've got that strip, boy, it's no better steak. From Piggly Wiggly on South Brundage Street in Troy and also in the Marketplace Shopping Center. We'll be back to more of Today in L.A. Merry Christmas.
History happens here. The 5th annual Raycom Media Camellia Bowl is back. Get your game day tickets now with ticket packages starting at just $20. Get the ultimate tailgate experience, then enjoy the luxury of the Guardian ESPN Zone. Or see the game unfold from the sidelines at the Wind Creek Hospitality Field Suite. Get your tickets now at CameliaBowl.com. The Raycom Media Camellia Bowl kickoff is at 4:30 p.m. December 15th at Crampton Bowl in Montgomery. History happens here.
A personal touch. A high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
Forevermark Diamonds. Beautiful, rare, responsibly sourced. Available at Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry.
Troy Cable Security makes it easy to stay aware and stay in control of your home wherever you are. User-friendly interface allows easy navigation for lights, locks thermostat, video, and garage doors. Never worry about leaving your garage door open or the front door unlocked. Your mobile app can send alerts to your phone for alarm and no alarm events. Know when your children arrive home from school with video response. Make sure your home is powered by Troy Cable Security for ultimate access, awareness, and protection.
We'll put you on hold. Max, I've been trying to get you, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good, Mike.
Well, every time I go to it, I'm gonna bring Mike in with you. I'm gonna put you on hold here, Max. And I'm gonna go here and here and here and here. All right, Max, you on the line? Hello, Mike.
You got me.
All right, Max, are you on the line? Waiting to pick up Max Howell, and we got Mike Amos instead. We'll wait and see if we hear back from him right here. All right, here we go. Uh-oh. Well, I think I might have messed it all up. Well, there we go. Max Howell, you on the line? Okay, let's see if this is Max. Good morning. You on Today in L.A. How you doing? Good morning. You on Today in L.A. How you doing? Hello.
Hi, you got me.
All right, I'm going to put you on hold and now bring in Max. Good morning, Max Howell. How you doing?
I'm doing good, Mike. How you this morning?
Well, doing fine. I had Mike Amos on the other line. I'm gonna bring him in right here with you. Let me see here. Put you on hold and bring you in right here. There we go. Is that you, Max?
I'm right here.
All right. Max Howell is on the line. So is Mike Amos. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay, Max. Boy, what is happening in the coaching world? Ohio State coach Meyer to retire from after the Rose Bowl, and I find out that he has a tumor on the brain. Is that true?
Yeah, we've heard that for quite a while, Mike. That all started when he was in Florida. That's why he took the year off at that particular. It's kind of a lesion thing, they think.
And it's not a malignant. It's not a malignant tumor, is it?
No, not from what I've heard. I had Buddy Martin on my show yesterday. Buddy's the guy that wrote his book.
Yeah.
He got a Gainesville. And we talked a long time about that, and he's 54 years old, and everybody's concerned about when how's his health, and will he come back? And he had some problems, with Zach Smith, the assistant coach, and they suspended him for 3 games early. And in that Maryland, I watched the Maryland game, and he was down on his knees half the game. Then he came back against Michigan, and he was fine. And then again, when he played Northwestern for the championship game,
oh yeah.
He was fine. But I think there's some undercurrent things that we don't know about that's happening to him. He probably needs to take a year or two off just to, try to get himself healthy.
Well, the thing is, a lot of people don't realize he's just, 54 years old? Or 56?
54 years old, that's right.
You look at what he's done at his age. Nobody's done more than he has at his age, have they?
Well, he's won 3 national championships, 2 at Florida, 1 at Ohio State. He's competed almost every year for that. So, I really believe that if his health's okay, he'll come back.
Yeah, no
I
question.
think he's going to take a year or 2 off to find out, for sure what's wrong with it.
All right, there's a coaching dilemma going on in Alabama. Of course, I know you know about all these guys leaving Malzahn Evidently, there's a personality situation here with Malzahn.
Yeah, I think it's a personality, some personality difficulties there. And then I think that, I think the big contract got a lot to do with it. I think that brought it all out, Mike.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's trying to survive to keep his money. And his personality, I don't think that's ever changed. I think, it's maybe been up and down a little bit, but, he hired Chip Lindsey to come in and run his offense, and we heard from day one. I'd known Chip when he was coaching at Spain Park High School.
Yeah, exactly.
So, he'd been around, been to Southern Miss, been to Arizona State, and came back. But he and Gus didn't get along on play calling, and it was very evident when Gus reached in that back pocket and the camera goes to him to pull out that sheet. That means he started calling the plays again.
Exactly.
So that didn't surprise me. I'll be interested now to see it. We all have heard who he's going after, and I question that to the utmost.
Well, tell us about it. One of them is bringing back your old buddy at Ole Miss, isn't it?
Well, how? Why?
I know it.
I'm just telling you guys, if he hires Hugh Freeze, the next people that'll show up on campus will be NCAA. I can tell you that right now. I mean, I've been in this business a long time, and there are certain people NCAA has targeted. Yeah. That's one of them.
I know this. You and I have been talking a long time, and for a long time you've been talking about Hugh Freeze, and more than anybody else before anybody else ever started talking about him. And then people started saying,
Hugh Freeze is coaching in the Lions Football League in Arizona right now. So he's offensive coordinator in the new startup league. Of course, Birmingham has a team called the Birmingham Iron, which will start playing football in February.
Yeah, Memphis has one, and I think we're going to probably carry their games here in North Mississippi this year. So we're very familiar. But Mike, in all fairness, he needs to stay in that league. He doesn't need to come back to college football.
Exactly right, and of course,
Mike, if I ever changed my stance on that, I said that from day one.
Yeah, I know that.
And I've been adamant about it. It's too much character problems there. And I'm sure, he probably has modified that. And, maybe he's going through some rehabilitation.
And everybody says, but they say this, so Max, but he beat Alabama 2 years in a row, Max. How can you say that about this guy? But
I can say that because he bought all the players.
I know. And then the next thing is, why in the world did that 5-star, or all those 5-stars, decide to go to Ole Miss all of a sudden instead of Alabama? Don't you know Alabama said, man, can you believe they picked Ole Miss over us?
Well, there's a reason they did. And everybody knows that, and NCAA knows that.
Yeah.
And that's why, I'd like to think, and that's what I was going to tell you, that, he may have cleaned his act up, because he's had some moral issues too, by the way. But I hope he's cleaned his act up. But if he hadn't, I mean, it's still perception of what he is, and perception is reality. And, I'm just saying, I really, for Auburn does not need Hugh Freeze, is all I can say.
Now, Hugh Freeze and Malzahn, aren't they old buddies?
Oh, yeah.
They're two very, very much alike, aren't they?
Well, they replaced each other at Arkansas State.
Yeah, I know it.
Yeah, they run the same style. But guys, those problems at Auburn go deeper than just Gus. The fact is, he's got a system. Everybody there on his staff understands the system. Why didn't they recruit to that?
Yeah.
Why they ain't got 2 or 3 6'3", 220, 30-pound running backs to run that offense?
And right now, ladies and gentlemen, Steedham is elected to enter the NFL draft. I don't think he's that good a player.
That would be interesting.
He was pretty good last year.
He was good last year. You're right. He was pretty good last year. And I like the kid. He's a classy kid. But is he ready to play in the pros?
Well, let me ask you something. Guys, Reese was pretty good. He had 5 offensive linemen that were all starters for 2 years.
Yeah.
He had 2 running backs.
That's right.
30, 40 pounds.
Yeah, Kerryon Johnson made a huge difference.
And what do you and then when Kerryon was in the same backfield with the other kid from Prattville, and the other kid from Prattville is now coaching at right here in Montgomery, Mike.
Yep.
Yeah, he's at Park Crossing.
Yeah. And if that kid would have stayed healthy and they'd had those 2 backs, they would have been hard to stop.
Well, they were, but see, again, why didn't they replace those guys? My question is, how do you get to that level and have you start 5 offensive linemen that had never played together? They had rotated a couple of those guys in and out, And look, you can't deny their accomplishment to beat Georgia, beat Alabama, number one in the country. You know, and they didn't win the conference. They lost that. Didn't get beat by Central Florida. So I mean, you know, there's just a lot of things that you analyze the program, you have to ask questions about.
No question
about
it.
Max, yesterday I read an article about Ryan Kay, who's going to be replacing Urban Meyer at Ohio State. And in the article, it claims that he turned down the Mississippi State job last year before they hired Moorhead. Have you heard that?
No, I have not. Nobody knows. See, John Cohen's a pretty good friend. I stay in touch with John pretty much a lot because I'm only 40 miles from Starkville. And then, of course, I got two guys on my, on our show. Matt White did one of them. Right there from Prattville, played at Mississippi State. He does a 10 to 12 show every day. So I stay in touch with him. He does a color analyst, by the way, on the radio broadcast for Mississippi State. So I stay pretty close, when those things start to unfold. And I never heard that at all, Mike. I've never heard his name mentioned, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, it was in the article yesterday. So I'm not sure.
Sometimes you consider the source. Yeah. A lot of people throw a lot of stuff out there, and that goes back to the Hugh Freeze saying last year, if you remember, it got out that Nick Saban wanted to hire Hugh Freeze. Well, track that rumor back. That came out of Memphis, Tennessee with Jimmy Sexton.
No question about
Nick
it.
Saban.
Max Howell is on the line with us, a very well-known prognosticator.
At Mississippi State this year, I mean, do you think Moorhead did a decent job going 8-4, or do you think they should have had a better record?
Well, here's the deal. He tried to bring the Penn State offense in here. They had Nick Fitzgerald, which ended up being an outstanding quarterback for him. I think he's the lead all-time rusher from a quarterback position in the SEC. But he tried to change everything too quickly. And here's what you have to understand. Mississippi is different. You've heard that for all your life in every aspect. And the caliber of kids that you coach, a lot of them are great football players, but, they couldn't comprehend that intense system that Moorhead. So he had to modify that. But he had to learn that. He got beat by Kentucky, got beat by Florida. They should have won both of those ball games. But they were in that transition. And remember, Fitzgerald got hurt in the Ole Miss game the year before. He had no off-season preparation. He didn't go through 2 days and missed the first ball game. So by the time he got to the second week of the season, he was just, been on the field the first time in almost a year. Yeah. So all that played in a role. He modified the system. They got better, and they did end up winning 4. They're going to probably get they got a decent bowl game. They're going to probably end up having a 9-4 season this year. And Mississippi State fans are pretty satisfied with that, to tell you the truth.
Max,
they're going to play Iowa.
Yeah. Max, everybody's still sort of surprised that Kelly Bryant, the kid from Clemson, decided to go to Missouri. I thought he would be a perfect fit for Auburn.
He would. He would have been. We don't need to get in how he got there, but that's okay.
Oh, hey, whoever had the most money, you think?
I don't know. I don't throw rocks. I make observations, Mike.
Yeah.
I just say I don't know what the connection. I think he did have a friend that was on the team there. I think a transfer from Arkansas maybe. That had been a high school classmate. I think they can track that back some. But I'm like you. The word we heard down here yesterday and last night was that he went because of Gary Dooley. Well, my first observation is that he ought to call some people at Tennessee and ask them what they thought about Derek Dooley. But they didn't. So he made the choice, and, it'll be interesting. Coach Odom did a good job this year. He saved his job. He's got to end up with a 9-win season, it looks like. He got there, but he's going to lose a lot of kids. And Kelly Bryant really was looking for a place to improve his draft status. And I don't know whether Missouri's a place to go or not.
Yeah. Of course, Loxley leaving Alabama to be the head coach at Maryland, and boy, what a great year he had in just 1 year at Alabama.
Well, he's been there 3 years, Mike.
3 years. Okay.
The offensive coordinator won. He was an offensive analyst coming in, not on the field 2 years ago. Then he was a wide receiver coach last year, and then Coach Saban elevated him to the offensive coordinator.
Bless his heart, he goes from his salary is 5 years at Maryland for $2.5 million annually. So
the guy that improved the offense at Alabama was Dan Enos, and he's the one that Coach Saban's going to have a hard time. Jeremy Pruitt at Tennessee is barking up his tree hard, as we speak this morning.
And what's his name now?
Yeah, we mentioned his Dan Enos.
Yeah, if Dan leaves, then they got a big gap to fill between Dan, because Dan's the only field guy. He's the guy that actually called all the plays, and he's the one who gets credit for improving Jalen Hurts. He's the guy that they really need to keep. They need to elevate him to offensive coordinator this morning, in my opinion. So, but Coach Saban, look, he's been around a long time. He had to replace 6 coaches last year, and they're still going to play for the national championship, it looks like. So, I'm always interested in watching programs like that and how they survive.
Yeah, they got Josh Gaddis, who came down from Penn State, who's also a great recruiter. He's a co-offense coordinator on the staff. So Alabama's got some guys that they can promote up. But you had to be pretty amazed by what Jalen Hurts did against Georgia. That was pretty phenomenal coming in. And
now, where does he go? Could he end up at Auburn? Do you think there's any way?
For about $5 million as assistant, maybe.
No, talking about Hurt. Don't you think?
No.
Have you ever thought about him transferring to Auburn?
Coach Saban's already got him placed, Mike. We don't know where, but I can promise you, he already knows exactly where he's going, and he's going exactly where Nick Saban wants him to go.
Yeah. Of course, we've got.
One thing about Hurts, with Tua's injury, the high ankle sprain, there's an outside chance that Hurts will have to play against Oklahoma. Tua doesn't come back 100%.
Mike, I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't start. I'll be honest with you. Remember, Tua had the same operation Hurts had. And Coach Saban said 2 weeks. It took him 5 to get his ankle ready, and he's still not 100%. You watched him in that.
Oh yeah, that one vintage Hurt running the ball at all.
No, his passing was improved. I think we can agree with that. I mean, he lobbed that one out there, to number 17, caught it, stepped out of bounds, and the next play throws one in the end zone for a touchdown. And again, guys, I will tell you, you've heard me say this over and over from last year. Georgia lost that ball game from the sidelines. They had 2 or 3 drastic mistakes that they made. One was a punt, the ill-advised call punt, when everybody in the stadium knew when Justin Fields jogged on the field, it wasn't going to be a punt. That's one. And 2 is basically they changed the defense when Hurts was in there, and they took the spy off of him, and they went to zone coverage when he ran a touchdown in.
Boy, the last thing in the world is against a Hurt is to take the spy off.
Absolutely
That'd be the craziest thing in the world.
The worst thing they did is they let Hurts scramble to the right. They should have stopped.
Right, that is true.
Made him scramble to his left.
Yeah.
Right.
He was able to look downfield and make throws.
Mike, that is why those decisions come from the sideline. They don't just develop on the field.
Let me just say this: Saban is a great coach, but he's also a lucky coach. Have you ever noticed that? A lot of things, like with Hurt coming in there, he had no idea that Hurt would take over like he did.
Mike, you never heard the harder you work, the luckier you become?
That's right. Exactly right. No question about it. Of course, Max Howell is on our line this morning. We would love for you to call in.
Don't you think that's going to be a pretty tough matchup, though? If I was Alabama, I'd much rather play Notre Dame than Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah, but you know what I think? That Alabama's going to shorten the ball game. That's why I think Hurts is going to start probably, depending on Tua's health, obviously. But I think even with Tua in there, they're going to shorten the ball game on offense. They're going to go to 2 backs, run the football. Oklahoma's 123 in the country in stopping the run. So
123 in that country.
Yeah, as long as that score can stay in the 20s, Alabama wins. If they let that score get up in the 30s or 40s, Alabama will win.
Well, the one thing about it too,
I guarantee you Oklahoma's going to be in the 20s. I think it's going to be Alabama winning a game like 50-30. I think Alabama's going to have to score 50 to beat them.
Well, if they do, it's going to be in because they can't do it. They won't score 50 running football.
And let me tell you this, they're bound to be, this little stretch here we got, how many days? Almost 30 days. They've got a chance to put together some things on defense that give Alabama trouble. You know what I mean? Like trying their best to shut down the run,
Yeah, but see, the defense's personnel, Mike, doesn't match up. That's the difference. They can do all kinds of.
They're just not physical enough?
No, they're not. Nobody in the Big 12 is. Go back and look. Everybody in the Big 12, Texas came as close with Tom Herman this year, and I think that's why basically they end up beating Oklahoma first. What was that, 48-45 or something like that?
That's right.
I think Alabama looks at that. Looked at Texas tape to begin with, And they know what they can do with those running backs. They can line up and just get, 3 yards, 4 yards, 5 yards, and play action on short passes after that. So, I mean,
Hurt feels that, Bill, better than
absolutely he does. Absolutely he does.
The other quarterback. But it's going to be very interesting to see. But now you know this as well as anybody, Max, that a good coach in 15, 20 days, he can put in a whole new offense if he wants to, can't he?
Yeah, and see, you go back and just take Oklahoma. They know what they got talent-wise on offense. They were number one in the nation in scoring offense, total offense. I mean, they got, and Kyler Murray will probably win the Heisman now. Last night, he moved to 2 points ahead of Tua, and that was because he had a good ball game last week, and and they beat Texas, the only team that beat them, and Tua had to come out of the ball game. He was hurt, so I think that with an outstanding quarterback in Murray, and they got some good wide receivers, and they got great speed. So
Max, you coached for many years. One of the hardest things to do. Now you're going to laugh when I mention and go back to a name like George Mara. You remember when George Mara played at Miami? Miami brought this terrible team to Alabama to play Alabama. But Alabama and everybody else, even to this day, does not have a set defense to stop a running quarterback. Don't you agree?
No, absolutely.
And Myra always gave Alabama trouble because they don't have a set defense to defend against a guy that can run out of the pocket. You know what I mean?
We don't have to go back to Myra. How about Johnny Manziel?
Yeah, exactly.
How about Clemson when they won the championship?
That's right.
Watson? I mean, everybody's got a history of that.
And the running quarterback is hard to defend, especially somebody that can run out of trouble and make something happen.
And Kyler Murray's better than all those guys. I'm going to tell you.
One of the great ones, of course, was Fran Tarkenton. Do you remember him? What a good one he was to do that.
Hey, Fran Tarkenton couldn't outrun BU, but he could scramble. He'd short pass. That's the way he made his name. But Murray
did Pat die block for Francis Tarkenton?
Yeah, they were big buddies. Yeah.
They were.
And but what I'm saying is, it's just on paper it's hard to defend a running quarterback, a guy that can run out of trouble. And this guy at Oklahoma is one of the best I've ever seen.
Well, Alabama's got to contain him, Mike, and they can't do it with those linebackers. Wilson Kidd can't outrun Murray for Alabama, the middle linebacker. So they're going to have to bring somebody else in to spy.
Mike, who will be the spy on him? Who do you think?
It's a back probably.
Yeah, they'll probably have, Deontay Thompson's the safety. They'll probably have number 5 that's been playing lights out. I can't think of his name right now.
They'll play a nickel or dime defense. They'll put 3 down and they'll bring the linebacker up and, mix the coverage. But, I'm not really sure.
Yeah, you got to realize, though, Dylan Moses runs a 4-4 linebacker for Alabama.
Yeah.
Well, that's the kind of guy they got to put in there.
Yeah.
To spy. But I'm not sure they want to get him out the pocket, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, exactly.
It's dangerous when he gets outside.
And another thing that
he might have the dreaded Heisman curse going into the game. Usually Heisman players don't play well.
That's right, a lot of times. But I'll tell you this right now, too. I always say this: it's hard to throw when you're sitting on your back, and that's what Alabama's going to do. They're going to try to hurt this guy. They're going to try to hit him and hit him and hit him and hit him. So by the second half, this guy can't even hardly walk.
Well, I still say the best defense they got is the offense, ball control, and keep that offense on the sideline.
Exactly right.
Run and use a running game, use a little short play action pass. As we said a while ago, that Jalen Hurts fits that package, but really better than Tua does.
And I'll tell you something that teams started doing, especially this latter part of the year, and we talked about this before, Max, is that people started backing their safeties up to make Alabama not be able to throw deep, to throw within. But what happened, though, was these fast guys catching the ball just ran by the safeties for touchdowns. But they did take away the deep threat, though, didn't they?
Well, it did. It does. And, but again, Alabama's, offense, they're I don't want to call it extremely complicated, but it's more sophisticated than a lot of offenses you see. And they had the quarterback that could pull the trigger on it.
Yeah.
But they didn't have on the check downs. They didn't have the quick released to get the quarterback, to save the quarterback the other night against Georgia.
Yeah.
They didn't throw it out in the backfield. They didn't throw a slant pattern. They didn't throw a lot of stuff short that I think Mac could have saved his leg. Of course, he got stepped on by his own guy, if you remember.
Well, I'll tell you this.
Yeah, but they said he injured that ankle, though, in that first series, and never was the same. I don't know if anybody noticed, but throughout the game, Tua couldn't scramble. He had to stay in the pocket, and he just took sacks after sacks. And he also wasn't throwing the ball away. So.
Yeah. Well, he couldn't plant. He couldn't plant the ball. He couldn't plant his foot. We've seen him underthrow. Well, the two underthrows got picked. The overthrow you can live with. But you start throwing it under like he was doing, he got that picked on the goal line down there, maybe because he underthrew the guy.
Yeah.
And he misled one or two coming across the middle, if you recall. He wasn't accurate because he couldn't plant off that foot and throw the ball accurate. That's why I think, he had the same operation that Jalen Hurts had, and it took literally, guys, it took him 4 or 5 weeks, and I still say he's not complete.
I think Hurts will be the quarterback.
He might be.
When did they start scoping high ankle sprains? Is that something new? I've never heard of that.
I don't mean Hurts was the first one I ever heard.
But I will tell you this, that Oklahoma's going to have a trouble here is they don't know which quarterback's going to actually start, and there's a big difference in Hurt and Tua, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. And of course, the two Harris guys and Jacobs, and, Alabama's got a ton, but, they got, 4 or 5 running backs.
No question.
Can take the load.
Yeah, Josh Jacobs is from Tulsa, Oklahoma. How bad do you think he wants to put a couple hundred on?
Oh, boy.
That would be the case. Oklahoma didn't even offer him.
No question about it.
Yeah, you're right. And I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't start. Yeah. Just don't say it's great at that. Finding those little psychological edges to work with only his team and work against the opponent. He does a great job in that. And that's just a little wrinkle that wouldn't surprise me at all to see Jacob start out there if it's starting.
Max Howell is our guest, ladies and gentlemen, and it's Christmas time in Troy, Alabama, Max. I don't know about Fulton, Mississippi, but old Santa's working hard right here, and we'll be back to more of Today in L.A. featuring Max Howell, one of the top prognosticators in the country. And we'll be back in just a moment.
At Wiley Sanders Truck Line, we support our military. That's right, not a $1,000 sign-on bonus, but $1,200 sign-on bonus at Wiley Sanders Truck Line. Thanks for your service. Thanks for your service. Wiley Sanders Truck Line, we support our military.
Have you seen an increase in your insurance premiums or significant change in your insurance coverage? Let Sandbeck Insurance offer you a better plan to suit your business or personal needs. Sandbeck Insurance offers many lines of insurance, whether it's home, farm, or auto insurance, work comp, business, or health and life policies. Sandbeck is here for you. Call or visit our Troy, Enterprise, or Andalusia office today. Sandbeck Insurance, where we take pride in taking care of your insurance needs.
History happens here. The 5th annual Raycom Media Camellia Bowl is back. Get your game day tickets now with ticket packages starting at just $20. Get the ultimate tailgate experience, then enjoy the luxury of a Guardian ESPN zone. Or see the game unfold from the sidelines at the Wind Creek Hospitality Field Suite. Get your tickets now at CameliaBowl.com. The Raycom Media Camellia Bowl kickoff is at 4:30 p.m. December 15th at Crampton Bowl in Montgomery. History happens here.
At Cost Plus 10%, we offer your favorite brands at the best price. At Piggly Wiggly, we keep it simple. We price our products at cost, then add 10% at checkout. We carry all your favorite name brand foods, and we accept manufacturer coupons. Find us on Facebook and see our weekly special.
Now, they're pretty flexible over there. That was the guys I worked for when...
Okay, back to our show, brought to you by Dixieland Dental, located 9 miles north of Dothan on Highway 230. 231, Dr. Michael Precise, Dr. John Strength, Dr. Damon Strength, and Dr. Robert Precise make up one of the largest dental clinics in Alabama, and also Pike County Ford on the bypass right here in Troy. They've got great deals going on, and also Piggly Wiggly, your favorite Piggly Wiggly on South Grundy Street or in the Marketplace Shopping Center. They've got steaks on sale right now at Piggly Wiggly. Well, Max, I don't know about you, but, man, it's getting that time. And, of course, Max, are you putting out a Christmas cookbook?
No, I'm not doing that, Mike. I don't have time right now. We're running this new station up here.
Well, you started talking about eating, and ladies and gentlemen, everybody that knows Max Howell knows that he's a guy that had a recipe for pretty much everything you can eat. And I know you probably fed some folks this past weekend. What did you do?
Oh, man, listen, I got this coming weekend. I already got one of our group, the birthday is Friday. They already got me. I got about 15, 18 steaks already bought. We're going to start marinate those.
Now, what are you marinating? Italian dressing or what? What are you marinating?
I do Italian dressing on pork and chicken.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I would do that.
A very simple marinade. Worcestershire, black pepper, and garlic powder.
Well, you know, a lot of people go with the old school marinade, Mike, like you do. You overdo it sometimes.
Well, you talking about
Dale's?
Yeah, Dale's. You know, Dale's is out of Florence, Alabama. Did you know that, Max?
Yeah, that's way too salty, though, for me.
Me too, a little bit. Of course, to me, don't overdo it. You maybe have a little of that flavor, but don't overdo it, you know?
No, that's why I use the Worcestershire, and I break that down with black pepper and a little garlic.
All right, do you cut your steaks?
You know what I've been using, Max?
What?
Was in Greenwood, Mississippi, and I picked up some Doe's seasoning from Doe's Steakhouse. It's pretty good.
I've used that. Yeah, I've used that before.
Now, you know what? From Greenwood, Mississippi, Max, let me see how far your brain will go back. What former Troy great lineman came from Greenwood, Mississippi?
I have no idea.
Haskins. You remember Haskins, the big tackle?
I remember.
Gene Haskins came out of Greenwood, Mississippi.
I do remember that now. Yes, I do.
He was one of the first big-time linemen, big lineman Troy ever had,
Yeah, we had he and Glenn Thompson.
Yeah, that's right. Now, he didn't play on the national championship team. Haskins didn't. He played the next year, and with a great lineman out of there. You probably recruited him.
Yeah, I did. And, of course, George Hires and Fran Collins were our two tackles on the offensive side.
Fran out of Geneva, and both those guys are deceased now, but Fran was out of Geneva, played at Alabama with T.J. Morris. You remember those two guys?
Oh, yeah.
Out of Geneva High School. And then, of course, George Hires was a great player, and he had trouble with his automobile on the freeway and would walk in to try to get some help and got hit accidentally.
Yeah, George did. That was
and then he had a brother that was a pretty good player too. You remember him?
He was. Yeah, we brought both of them to campus.
Yeah.
Max.
I think his brother ended up in the health fitness business.
Yeah.
In Land, Florida.
Yeah, exactly.
So I kept up with those guys for a number of years. And of course, we had the reunion this past year, the 50th anniversary, and certainly had a chance to see him. 38 of the 45 that won the championship was there. Most of the ones that weren't there had passed away. That's the only reason they weren't there.
No question about it. And I just recently went to a retirement party for Al Head. Al Head was a quarterback after Sim Bird, and of course became big into the arts and was head of the Alabama Arts program for several years, and very well known at that. But a lot of people don't realize, Max, he was a heck of a quarterback that replaced Sim Bird. I think the first game that he played after Sim had graduated, he threw 5 touchdowns against Sanford one night.
Well, let me tell you, we'd have won the national championship had he not got hurt the next year.
Yeah, in fact, a lot of people don't realize that I think y'all were 10-1 or 8-1 or 9-1, wasn't you?
Right, we were. And he got hurt, and we had to replace him with Lionel Ed Rainey.
That's right, Lionel Ed Rainey out of Greenville, Alabama. And but probably the most ironic thing that ever happened during the Atkins era, and you remember this very well, you were down to your 4th-string quarterback, maybe the 5th-string quarterback. His name was Shepard. And y'all were playing Chattanooga. That was Scrappy Moore's last game as a coach.
Yes, we was.
In Chattanooga. And this guy had never played in a college football game before. And
Very true.
And somebody said he sat next to Coach Atkins on the bus all the way to Chattanooga. Back then, you got on the, if it was a night game, you got on the bus at 8 o'clock in the morning, drove all morning long, and then played the game. And that Shepard boy threw 3 touchdown passes. But he was a Jordan High Columbus guy. Shepard was, and Atkins, that's where he coached, and he sort of, I know he probably had signed this guy, knew he had it in him, but it was probably one of the most miraculous turnarounds I've ever seen in college football.
Well, you remember we had gotten Paul Brinsfield, Danny Grant, and Alvin Dees from Chattanooga.
Exactly.
And they were all excited about going back up there and finishing up. So it was a great. They coached Coach Moore. How many years did Scrappy Moore coach?
God, he coached a many years. You remember something, Max? Every year they would open up with Auburn. And if you're a high school kid, you got to get in that game free. So a bunch of us used to always go to Auburn first game to see them play Chattanooga.
Absolutely. Those days have long gone, Mike, as you well know, but certainly bring back great memories.
Well, I'll tell you a couple of well-known guys.
UT Chattanooga, I don't understand. Chattanooga is one of my favorite places to go in the Southeast. How in the world have they not gone Division I yet? Tennessee Board of Trustees won't allow it?
Right, absolutely. Because remember, that's all under the Board of Trustees at the University of Tennessee. It's not Chattanooga. It's the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga. Much like the same concept that UAB has been through the years with the University of Alabama.
And Tennessee Martin, you remember they used to have some great teams. Tennessee Martin did, and they would let them go up.
We lost to in the national championship year.
That's right.
If you remember. But, it's all about the Board of Trustees and the politics.
What was the
that's an absolute shame, because they'd be a perfect fit for the Sun Belt.
Yeah. What was the great defensive coordinator? He was at Mississippi State for so many years. He played his college football at Chattanooga. Joe Lee Dunn. Joe Lee Dunn was one of the great players to play quarterback and safety at Chattanooga. You remember that?
Yeah. Joe Lee was at Ole Miss.
And Jack Gregory played on those early Chattanooga teams. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah, he transferred to Delta State.
That's right, they transferred to Delta State. I think y'all had to play him twice or something.
We did. I think we did, Mike.
And that game was played in Ozark, Alabama, and a lot of people don't remember that game, but, boy, that was one of the great games in college football history if you just wanted to see a good football game. And I know it was on the last play of the game, it was one-on-one, Danny Grant in their corner. Yep. And, buddy, that was like taking candy from a baby, wasn't it?
It absolutely was, man.
You put Danny Grant one-on-one with anybody in the country, and you know you're going to win.
Yeah, and that was in his hometown, and he showed out that night.
He ran a punt back, and I think he caught a pass for the winning touchdown, and I want to say maybe ran a kickoff back, too. So he scored 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, I do recall that.
Exactly right. Coach Max Howells, I guess.
So what are people in Starkville saying about Ben Allen and Mississippi State being ranked in basketball? He's really turned that program around.
He really has. I mean, they're tickled to death. Look, Mississippi State has taken over the sports world in the state of Mississippi. I mean, the Ole Miss thing coming off all the problems they had over there, and Matt Luke scratching to keep his job. They already having making some coaching changes there, but all the headlines over here every day is about Mississippi State. The women's basketball, again, ranked in the top 5. I mean, they're in their baseball, without a doubt, is going to be as good as anybody in the country. John Cohen is a new athletic director, so I'm proud as I can be for them.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen,
they say they have the nicest baseball stadium in the country now. Have you seen it, Matt?
Well, let me tell you what. Yeah, they just finished it, Mike. Let me tell you what they did. Everybody's got skyboxes. They got condos. They built 20 condos where you can live there.
Yeah.
Wow. Around that stadium. This is one of the premier places in the country. They just finished up. This will be the first complete season they've had with a new stadium.
And let me tell you this right now. Mississippi State, I would say right now, I would take Mississippi State over everybody in our conference but Alabama. They're playing that good of football. Didn't you think down the stretch?
Yeah, they did, Mike, but they had 20 seniors on that team, too. The measure's going to be what they do next year.
Yeah.
They lose Fitzgerald. I'm going to tell you, the guys, the team is coming to Texas A&M. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, oh, I can tell that. You're right. They do look good.
They got the #1 recruiting class in the country right now. Jimbo out-coached Ogeron in that 74-72 game. We just go down the list.
Ogeron is another lucky guy, and he's a lucky guy. Bless his heart, though, he had just got a bath And, you know, it had happened. I'll tell you another instance where it happened, but they just poured the water on him, and he was saying, "Man, I won this big game," and then the referee said, "No, no, no."
The knee was on the ground.
Oh man, and that was a close call, no question.
That was one of the craziest games I've ever watched in college football. If anybody stayed up and watched that, it was worth it.
I tell you, Mike, I stayed up and watched it, and got up the next morning and watched it again.
And you know, when I let me tell you something that really got me in that game. LSU had just run out of everything they could do offensively, and that quarterback. That they were putting the whole thing on their quarterback. And their quarterback had never done anything all year long. Of course, he was a transfer from Purdue and all that.
Ohio State.
But their quarterback looked like an All-American when that game went into overtime. He was hard to stop, wasn't he?
Well, you know, let me tell you where all the eyes going to be on LSU. They got to play Central Florida in the bowl game.
Oh, they could get routed then on what?
In that ball game.
Yeah, and then some of their top draft picks, Greedy Williams, you know, supposed to be a top 5 pick, has already decided he's not going to play in the game.
See, and that's another one.
Isn't that crazy that we've come to that in college football, Max? And these guys, you know, are scared to get hurt if they're going to be.
What, this is the guy from LSU?
Yeah, they don't even play in the games anymore.
You mean that he's not going to play in the pro game, in the bowl game?
They got 2 or 3 guys. They got 2 more that's going to announce. I just read last night. Well, a third of their defense ain't going to be there. So
that is ridiculous, isn't it?
Well, you know, it is, Mike. But look, here's what you have to remember: those guys, most of them have already graduated.
That's right.
They already got their degree. They know they're going to the NFL. Have already been told, and they have an option there. NCAA gave the option to make a choice.
That's right.
And it's all about their future. You know,
exactly right. Exactly right.
From a personal standpoint.
Exactly right. And of course, I hate to see it go that way, but you're right now. But Central Florida's quarterback is out. I mean, he had to have surgery, and he was one of the best in the country. And they've got a backup.
He scored 56 on Memphis this past weekend.
That's right. That's right.
And they were down 31-14 at halftime.
That's right.
Max, are you surprised that Norval has stayed at Memphis? I thought he would get a big time coaching job.
Well, you know, there's some other things that's happening, Mike, up there with them, with that program. And, you know, a lot of it we probably suspect, but we don't know about what's going on. And you're right. I'm sure there have been some offers come, but there's probably some strings attached to why he's there, why he's staying. Again. And you know, and I don't want to be negative about that, because there's some guys, they don't want to go anywhere. I mean, you know, they're perfectly satisfied, because when you start going after the big bucks, you know, guys, the pressure goes up. It's called the golden rule. He who has the gold makes the rule.
Yeah.
When you start putting up millions of dollars on somebody, there's going to be somebody out there, you know, pulling a string or two along the way.
Max, I know your network.
Good job.
You know, the Alabama High School state championships are this week in Auburn. And Mike, I got to ask you something. Today at 3 o'clock, 3:30, Vestavia of Birmingham is playing Baldwin County High School of Bay Minette in a game called a unified game. What is this?
I have no clue. I'd have to look at that.
They're playing today before the big game with Central Phoenix City and Thompson. If you get there early, you can see Vestavia High School of Birmingham playing Baldwin County High School at 3:30 in a unified game.
Yeah, that's the one thing I can think of.
So that gives the people that are going over that game, and Max, what we're talking about, Central of Phoenix City versus Thompson and Thompson.
My ex-partner's calling that ball game.
Okay.
Jerry Young. He'll be on the National High School Football Association radio network, calling play-by-play, and of course you can pick it up off your iPhone.
Yeah.
And I'll sit there and watch that one. But I talked to Jerry yesterday, and certainly that's the biggest thing that's happened to Thompson. Of course, they got his brother is a quarterback. I don't know whether they can beat Central or not.
Well, I tell you, Dubose can really coach, and he's a defensive-minded coach. Now, his quarterback is an option-type quarterback that's going to LSU.
That's right. Well, he's got 5 going to the SEC.
Yeah.
His top player's going to Clemson.
Of course, Central is 13-0, and Thompson is 12-1.
I'd love
to go to that game.
Georgia for a long time, in Atlanta, I mean, how heartbroken do you think Georgia fans are after going through this same thing? Two losses to Alabama within 11 months. They've got to be just...
Well, listen, they're suffering. Let's put it that way.
And Max, why in the world did somebody step in and say, Coach, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. But, Coach, that was the worst call maybe in the last 20 years of college football.
Guys, look, it wasn't so much the call. It was changing the personnel. That's what alerted Alabama to it. If you noticed, Alabama never took their defense off the field.
And they didn't. And they didn't have to.
No.
Isn't that right?
Yeah. Let me quickly tell you. I was fortunate enough to be on the staff when we developed the punt Ruski at Florida State. We put that in to play Clemson. Clemson was number 1 or 2 in the country. We were like 4 or 5. We ran the fake punt from our own 26-yard line with 2 minutes to go. It was like 4th and 6. But we didn't change personnel. We let Leroy Butler as the up guy. We designed the play so he could run it. He picked the ball up off the ground, ran down to the 5, fell down, if you remember. We kicked a field goal with 1 minute left. We had 23-21. I talked to Jack Crow later about that. He said Clemson knew that we had that play, but they didn't know where we was going to run it, and they had no idea because we never changed personnel.
And what the center did, the center just laid the ball down right by his ankle, and everybody went through their blocking assignments, and then Butler just goes by and picks it up and runs for a touchdown, doesn't he?
Exactly. That was a design play.
And Bobby Bowden, a lot of people say, why you want to trick people? Nobody tricked people more than Bobby Bowden. He loved to trick people.
He had one for every ball game. They're fortunate enough didn't have to use it very often, but he had a play like that designed almost for every ball game.
Exactly
right. The key to it is what it was the deception of running the play without changing personnel.
Yeah.
And Kirby obviously didn't think about that.
Max, of course, you've been around both states, and of course, the junior college program in Mississippi is so good now. Are they having their playoffs right now?
Oh, they already won. East Mississippi won the national championship last Saturday night.
You mean, wait a minute, we're not talking about Scuba, are we?
Yeah.
Scuba, well, how does Scuba, ladies and gentlemen, this is the craziest thing in the world. How does Scuba win this national championship every year, or state championship every year? In a town,
players, Mike.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not exaggerating.
Who do they play against? They play against
They have one store there, Max.
Garden City, Kansas is who they beat. And listen to this, they beat them 10-9.
And Max, they have only one store in Scuba, Mississippi, and they have the drink box, and that's where they go for excitement on Saturday night.
Now, Mike, they got 2.
They got 2.
We talked to the coach yesterday on the show, and we asked him about that. He said they got 2. One's where everybody stops out there on Highway 45. They got a little, a little lunch bar you can pick up. But the biggest one is the second one right down the road that makes homemade fried pies. And the head guy goes by there every morning and buys a sack full and takes them to his staff meeting for staff every day.
And of course, they have all those teams have AstroTurf artificial turf, and they all look about the same. But it's amazing how this team from Scuba, it's like going to Scuba is like going to prison, Max.
Well, let me tell you.
I mean, it's almost like going to prison.
Well, you talk
and
about...
half those players probably have been to prison before. Is that right?
Mike, let me tell you, well, a lot of them have been, by the way. That's why they junior college. But the fact is that program, that school, is not confined. Their campus in Columbus, I'll tell you how astute they are. They just bought the country club in Columbus, Georgia, Mississippi.
Did they really?
They got a turf management school there. They've got a culinary school there.
Yeah.
Scuba, Mississippi is a joke to talk about the town and the school there, but their satellite campuses are as big as anybody in the country.
And they beat who for the national championship?
Garden City, Kansas.
So Scuba has won another national championship, and they had a guy, they call him Bear, and they said he was meaner than Bear Bryant. What was his name? Bear Underwood, or what was it?
No, you're talking about Bull Sullivan.
Bull Sullivan, yeah, Bull Sullivan. They wrote up in Sports Illustrated about 10 years ago, 15 years ago.
Well, he got a statue in front of the stadium out there, but this guy cut from the same mold. But this guy's won 5 national championships, Mike, in the last 8 years.
And what's this guy's name?
Leslie, Troy's defensive line coach for him. He was his defense coordinator for 2 years.
Right.
Well, I tell you what, now, in all of the programs, you got East Teboga, you got, tell us some of the names of those schools.
Etowah. Junior college, got Etowah Junior College right here where I live.
Yeah.
They got Delta, they got Northeast, they got Northwest, they got Mississippi Gulf Coast, they got Pearl River. There's 14 of them, Mike.
Now, Steve Campbell.
They got Jones, where Ray Perkins coached.
Right.
Yeah,
That's right. So, I mean, they've got a great, and they recruit like crazy. Now, I will say this, the junior college organization in the state only allows each school 8 out-of-state scholarships, but they allow wide open recruiting everywhere else in the state.
How many college scouts do you think were at that championship game?
Oh, there's no telling. I mean,
and Troy, Troy has gotten a lot of good players from there.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, everybody that started offense and defense will get scholarships to Division I or Division II.
Yeah. I mean, it's really if a kid in high school is maybe not quite as mature as he should be physically and needs to go to a junior college, or especially if he's not situated very well, the junior college route's the way to go. Don't you agree?
All right, let me tell you about
the grades.
Well, let me tell you about the starting lineup. The starting the starting quarterback pitched for the Padres last spring, and he came back and did a starting quarterback, 6'5", 230 pounds. He was the #1 high school quarterback in the country coming out of junior college. That's one. They had their defensive front. Every one of them, their 5 starters, were all over 6'5" and all over 280, and they could run.
And so with the junior college route, you get a player that can play right away. It's not like signing a freshman out of high school. It's a player that can play right now and help your team.
Well, that's again, the more and more people have realized that those are filler spots. They can go in and cherry pick 1 or 2 kids off each team along the way.
And Mike, let me tell you a secret that Max knows very well. When Max was a recruiting coordinator at Ole Miss, somebody told me you recruited as many as 20 players from the junior college ranks. You are the guru. Max Howell was the guru of getting these players.
I took 11 players, 10 of them went to the NFL. If that tells you anything. That was over a 2-year period.
And you, as a recruiting coordinator at Ole Miss?
Yeah, that was when Billy Brewer brought me in there to try to generate something out of the junior college league, because we'd done that at Florida State.
Yeah.
And certainly I already had the contacts, and the best place we went was Northwest Junior College right up the road from Oxford.
And you were known as a guy that could recruit the junior college athlete.
Well, we did that at Troy along with our transfers, if you remember.
Yeah.
That was where we got in, but the head coach at Northwest was an All-American at Ole Miss. He'd been with the guy named Bobby Franklin.
Yeah, I remember Bobby Franklin, quarterback Bobby Franklin. I remember him, yeah.
And he'd been a defensive back with the Dallas Cowboys for like 10 years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he had all the tools going, but he had all the contacts around the country as well. They had
amazing.
Great players.
Mike, I'll tell you a good one that Troy got was Virgil C. Do you remember Virgil C., the great kick returner?
Yeah.
He came out of the junior. I think he came out of the junior college ranks and made an All-American, whatever. Max, thank you so much for being on our show and adding to all of this coaching controversy, if you want to call it. But you know what? It's all, Max, it all turns out and it all comes back to one thing, is who you know. Isn't that right, Max?
Absolutely right. That doesn't guarantee you, but it opens the doors for you.
But it's all about who you know in coaching in the college ranks.
It's hard to believe that in coaching college football right now, you got Les Miles 64 getting a job and Matt Brown at 67.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
North Carolina.
And the real important thing, Max, is will they have the energy to do what it's got to be done?
Well, that's the key to it, Mike.
I want a young guy that wants to be great.
Yeah, well, I look around some of those guys. I really want to throw my hat back in the ring too, because I loved it so much. But that day's passed me by, and I know that. But I would sure love to watch it on TV and talk about it.
No question about it, Max. Have a great day, man. We always enjoy hearing from you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. We'll see you next week.
All right, buddy. Bye-bye.
Jingle Bells Rock, ladies and gentlemen. It's Christmas. Merry Christmas. Make sure to shop Troy this Christmas season. For the staff and management of Troy Cable, we wish you a Merry Christmas.